What's up, guys? This is Miasin. So the Gem Knight deck just got, it relatively recently got new support that is completely broken in Terminal World 2, which I do plan on fully exploring very soon, by the way. There's also like the Jirak and Fable decks that are getting some nice support in there, as well as Necros, but that support hasn't been announced yet. And Gem Knight is really, really good. I mean, the support is really insane. It's not FTK support because I didn't play Gem Knight back in the days when it was an FTK deck, but Konami really doesn't want this deck to be an FTK deck again because the cards that are introduced as support are extremely unfair, but they have the damage that your opponent takes during the main phase. So clearly, the goal is to not FTK the opponent, but you can still like pump out like gigantic boards. And you're not even locked under like Gem Knights only, so you can do like some generic things and play any kinds of splashable engines that you want to play in Gem Knight, which of course, you already know what this means. You can play some degenerate bullshit. So yeah, of course, today I will be going over a bunch of really cool combos that you can do in the Gem Knight deck. But before we go any further, you already know the drill. Smash the like and subscribe button. And you know what? If this video can get 1,000 likes, I will try to make a spreadsheet where I explore potentially more engines that you can splash in Gem Knight, because at the current moment, I don't think that this deck is cohesive enough to be played as a standalone deck with no other engines. But again, with 1,000 likes, I will be taking all the time in the world it takes in order to figure out the perfect Gem Knight deck. So you already know what to do. Smash the like and subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get right into combo number 1. Okay, so combo number 1 is a 1-card combo that can beat Nibiru, but you also need a discard. And it is either Gem Knight Neprim or the Gem Armadillo. Yeah. And also the spell card is also a 1-card combo, but it's a different sequencing, so I'm going to show it differently. But yeah, first things first, normal summon Nephim or Neperim. That's like the Shadal Gem Knight monster, because obviously that's the lore. Shadal, Infernoid, Zephyra, Yangzing, Clifford. They're all like broken too. It's actually insane. It's like a bunch of decks that used to be like insane back in the Duelist Alliance era, and now it's all correlated to Gem Knight, which used to be a meme, and then it actually kind of turned into a scary deck. But yeah, this is going to be searching the Dispersion, which is a spell card that is not really once per turn. It has 2 effects, and you can only choose 1 effect per turn, but you can use the card technically twice per turn. So one of the effects, you add any gem monster from your deck or banish to your hand, and also any effect damage your opponent takes during the main phase this turn is halved. So again, the goal is not to FTK the opponent, and you're going to be searching the Gem Armadillo. This is not a Gem Knight monster, so keep that in mind. This card is a little annoying to access, and this card, it obviously searches any Gem Knight card from your deck to your hand, so not just a monster. And it also has an effect where you can extra normal summon a gem monster, and that is going to be the Armadillo. So search your Gem Knight Hollow Core. This card is super cracked, so you can foolish a Gem Knight normal monster or Gem Knight fusion from your deck to the graveyard as a cost, and then summon this card from the hand. And the best thing about this card is the graveyard effect. So when your opponent activates a card effect from anywhere, and you control a Gem Knight fusion monster, you can banish 3 Gem Knight cards from your graveyard, including this card, negate that effect. Then all Gem Knight monsters you currently control gain 1,000, and you can only use each effect of this card once per turn. So this is how we play around Nibiru, because so far this is summon number 4 with the Phantom Quartz, and summon number 5 is going to be that fusion monster, which allows the Hollow Core to actually negate that Nibiru. So yeah, the Phantom Quartz is going to be searching for the Dispersion again, because we used this card for the search effect, but we never used this other effect. And this card is, it's completely stupid. It's basically Ostinato, but even better, because you can use it when you control monsters on the field. So in other words, this card allows you to fuse a Gem Knight, fuse for a Gem Knight fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. But if you have the Gem Knight fusion in your grave, which you will always have since you're dumping it with the Hollow Core, you can use up to 2 non-rock Gem Knight monsters from your deck or extra deck instead of using anything from the hand or field. So it becomes a branded fusion essentially, and we're going to be sending the Nephrim as well as Hollow Core. We want a second Hollow Core just in case our opponent has like a Bestiole for the first one and then Nib. So this beats like a Bestiole and Nibiru at the same time, which is actually kind of cracked. And we're going to be summoning Seraphinite, which is one of the only Gem Knight monsters that people actually know about because it's a generic. And yes, it feels really weird to summon this card without having to go through Brilliant Fusion. By the way, if Brilliant Fusion and Block Dragon gets unbanned in this deck, my god, I'm going to be exploring some crazy things. Anyways, the Nephrim is going to be revived back because it was sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, so you discard a card. Well, rather send a card from your hand to the graveyard, so unfortunately there is no synergy with Fabled Lure. And then it gets revived back. And then we get Nibiru. So this is summon number 6, but at any moment, the summon number 5, sorry, that was summon number 7. The summon number, no, that was summon number 6. The summon number 5 was Seraphinite. So yeah, we can just negate the Nibiru with the Hollow Core, so banish itself as well as the 2 Dispersion. And yeah, just like that, we are Nibiru proof. Summon your Infernal Flame Banshee or any rank 4 In this situation, if we had Block Dragon, we go into Gallon Granite, search Block Dragon, and then it's Happy Land City from there, but there's no Block Dragon, so we gotta go for another rank 4 that can search you something. And the Nemesis engine I think is really good, so we can go into an IP here, banish your Banshee while you control the flag, because that is one of the restrictions for Full Flame Banshee. You can only revive back from the banished off of its effect when you control a pyro monster, otherwise it will not trigger. So yeah, you revive back the Banshee, and then Phantom Court shuffle back using 2 monsters from the banished, 1 from the grave, or 3 from the banished, whatever, that you probably banished with the Protoss. Summon your Dispersion, and then link off into Moon of the Closed Sky, call Fire, and then Requiem, summon the Lacrima, send the Engraver, revive back the Engraver, go into Sequence, and then Dies Irae. And yeah, you can obviously see where this is going, right? I mean, it's going to be an Omni Negate with an IP, the Fusion, and Protoss calling Fire, which is game against a lot of decks. Obviously, if you know what deck your opponent is playing, this Protoss is not blind, because you can easily call Earth, Fire, and Dark in this deck, and Light, obviously, because of the Fiendsmith engine. I think the only attributes that you do not have access to would be Water and Wind. I don't think there's anything in the deck that is Water and Wind, so yeah, if you play against Flunderies, I guess, it's gonna be a little tricky, but to be fair, it doesn't really matter too much, because they're not trying to special summon Water or Wind monsters anyway, so who cares? But yeah, this is a super unbreakable board, and by the way, you still have 1 Hollow Core in the graveyard, so you still have another Omni Negate in the form of Hollow Core. Even if you get hit by Dark Ruler, it doesn't matter, Bernard. And you can also attribute that Gem Knight Master Diamond Dispersion, summon up to 3 non-rock Gem Knight monsters from your extra deck and or graveyard by ignoring their summoning conditions, and then you're locked under Fusion Summons only, which is a little annoying, but it doesn't really matter too much. And yeah, you can summon a bunch of shitty monsters that do absolutely nothing, like Aquamarine sucks ass, Rose Diamond doesn't do jack, and a Seraphonite, well, you already have 6 freaking monsters on the field. But yeah, I just really wanted to do it in order to showcase you how beautiful and gorgeous this combo really was. Gem Knight best deck. Okay, so combo number 1 could have been achieved whether we had the Armadillo or the Nephrim, but also if you draw Dispersion, it still works. And this time I'm actually gonna fast forward because it's kind of obvious. Search your Armadillo. This is, according to myself, the better 1-card starter, but it changes absolutely nothing because every single freaking starter in this deck ends on the exact same board, and they all beat freaking Nibiru, and also the 2-card combos also beat Nibiru and end on the same boards. And by 2-card combo, I mean any Gem Knight monster and the Hollow Core, or like the Primite Roar, which of course I kind of spoiled that I'm playing the Primite engine in this deck. Obviously you kind of have to, because Gem Knight Garnet is just the best card ever. Hail Garnet, I love Garnet, it's just insane. But yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying. You just summon monsters and you're gonna win, who cares? See, I told you, it's the exact same freaking board. You can just trust me on that one, bruv. And yeah, you just make a sequence, Dies Irae, there you go, blah blah blah, I've seen this before. And yeah, you're gonna win. So yeah, summon your 3 shit monsters that do nothing, there you go, Merry Christmas. Okay, so this is gonna be a little trickier because we're gonna have Gem Armadillo and Engraver, and we're gonna try to make a completely unfair, unbreakable board. But realistically, the only thing that is added is like 1 extra, well, I mean 2 extra interruptions, which is still not too bad, but yeah, the very start of the combo is the exact same. However, if you ever draw this combination of hand, it's going to be very important that you play it out the exact same way I am, because if you make 1 small microscopic mistake, it's not going to work. It took me like freaking 30 tries to make this work. It's really annoying. And yeah, like I said, there's absolutely no margin of error. But yeah, search your Garnet. I can't believe searching Garnet is actually good. Not because Garnet is good, because Garnet is unfair. And yeah, also shuffle back 3 from the graveyard into the deck is something I never would have predicted I ever would have done, but, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures. It's actually funny how one of the issues that the Gem Knight deck has is that it has so much money that you have to clear some of the cards, like in your field zone, so that you can keep summoning more and more monsters. Like, I actually struggled exactly with this situation, where I had so many monsters on the field that the Banshee couldn't come back, and then I actually lacked the extenders to keep pushing. But yeah, at this point, you revive back the Luri, and then you equip the Requiem, you make a Necro Clip, and then you revive back the Engraver that we never used the effect before, and then we make the Caesar, and then at the very end, we finally summon Dies Irae, we equip back the sequence, and then we contribute that Master Dispersion, summon back 2 monsters. Gorgeous board to look at. Aquamarine, Rose Diamond, they do absolutely nothing, because again, you can only summon the non-rock Gem Knight monsters, and then it locks you under fusions only, so it's not like we can summon whatever we want with them. Protoss, Caesar, Dies Irae, IP, and the Hollow Core in the graveyard. How can you lose? Alright, so for the deck profile, again, I'm not going to waste any of your time. This is going to be very short and sweet, right to the point. So 3 Nephrim, 3 Armadillo, and 3 Dispersion. These are your 1-card starters, every single one of them, and on the exact same thing, and they are all completely Nibiru-proof. And the other 2-card combinations would be like Primate Roar and Hollow Core. There is no reason for me to like show it for you because it's way too obvious. You know, it's Primate Roar, summon Gem Knight Garnet, and then summon your Hollow Core, send the Gem Knight Fusion, summon your Phantom Quartz, search for the Gem Knight Dispersion, and then fuse, summon your Seraphonite, send the Nephrim and another Hollow Core, and then Nephrim comes back, discard something, effect, search another Dispersion, Dispersion searches the Armadillo, normal summon, get Gem Knight Garnet, etc. blah blah blah. I have went through this combo 67,000 billion times in my life, so I pretty much know it by heart at this point. But yeah, 12 Gem Knight monsters. Sorry, I forgot about Garnet. There you go, it's your boy. 3 Primate Roar. You could also play the Lordly Load if you really want to, but I really wanted to max out the amount of non-engine cards that I get to play in my deck. I'm playing 15 at the current moment. So 3 Ash, 3 Valor, 3 Imperm, 3 Foros, and 3 Droplet. This is not set in stones. You can just play whatever is most, like, better suited in the format. And then 1 Gem Knight Fusion, which I actually think is terrible to open because I really try my best to come up with combos that you could maybe do if you draw Gem Knight Fusion and 2 Gem Knight monsters. And the answer is, there's nothing that you can do because you might as well just play all... I mean, you might as well only play the good Gem Knight monsters. I really try my hardest to play like the shit ones, like Gem Knight Quartz, Obsidian, Lazuli, Lapis, so that you can go into Lapis Lazuli. And it really just doesn't work. The deck doesn't make any sense when you're playing it as a Gem Knight deck. I know it makes no sense what I'm trying to say, but what I'm saying is that Gem Knight is better when you're not playing it as a Gem Knight deck. Yes, I know it's weird. Anyways, the Protos and the Flag, don't at me. Ritual Beast is doing the same thing. 2 Engraver, 1 Lacrima, and Lurie, and Detract. So it's 7 cards that have absolutely nothing to do with the Gem Knight cards that are in your deck, as well as 15 cards. So yeah, you're not playing that many Gem Knight cards, but still, there are 9 1-card starters and a couple of cards that work with each other. And even if you just draw like an Engraver and like a couple of hand shops, it's not the end of the world. And this deck has, I guess, some options through Shifter. And by some options, I mean Bagus Capaz. There you go. And then you survive. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the main deck. 40 cards. Try not to play more. Like I said, if Lock Dragon or Brilliant Fusion ever gets unbanned, this deck is gonna change to to a completely different level, to the point where it might actually be worth playing as a Gem Knight deck, because then your Block Dragon is searching 3 freaking rock monsters from your deck to your hand, so you might as well search real cards. Anyways, for the extra deck, the Master Diamond Dispersion, obviously, the Asire, Rose Diamond, Necroker Princess, and Seraphonite. You actually summon these monsters. I am not really trying to play the Aquamarine, it's really bad. It also misses timing, by the way. It's an optional when effect, so it literally never triggers its effect to bounce back something. I don't understand why. Anyway, Caesar, Baguska, Infernal Flame Banshee, SP, double Phantom Quartz so that you never run out of gas. You always loot back your resources. You can also try playing like another Gem Knight monster. That could make sense, like this one right here, the Master Diamond. It's not bad. And then you can play the Fiendsmith engine if you really want to. I really recommend, though. It adds a lot of gas to your deck because, again, it is not a cohesive deck, so you don't have enough starters, so maybe you just want like some extra things to do when you got a couple of bodies running lying around. So yeah, Sequence, Moon of the Cool Sky, IP, and Requiem. And for the idea section, all the other Gem Knight monsters, they're like infinite. You can maybe test them out and maybe see if they make sense. More copies of Gem Knight Fusion, I don't know, but maybe. But yeah, that's it for this video right here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.